Welcome to our Hatha Plus class. What you might need is very much the ordinary. A block would be great to have. So if you do, grab one of those. Anything that looks remotely like it will do as well. It might be for sitting, so maybe preferring a sturdy cushion or something like that. A blanket could be nice if you're not on a carpet and need some gentleness here. And other than that, I would ask us to begin in a seated position. So I will grab the block and will place it on my mat just to find an easy pose once we're getting there. So coming to sit on the mat, legs may bend. I'm aware that not all of you enjoy that, so please sit in a different shape or form. Maybe just a little wiggle here around your sitting bones and a restful position for the hands. Give the shoulders a few little movements, maybe even some shimmies. As you shrug the shoulders back, for this very moment, let's close the eyes. As always, this practice is more than just for your physical body. And this week we will look a little bit into our winds. That's the vayus, the different winds in the body, or energies, as I like to call them too, are there to ultimately let the body function. So they bring the movement to the stability that the rest of the body provides. And different postures as well as different exercises work differently on those winds. So in the end, when all of them are quite balanced, we have enough energy. We move well within our bodies, and we feel kind of perfectly well. While that might not be the outcome of today, we might still strive for some balance in that energetic sense. To assist with that, we will bring in a mudra. For your next inhalation, reach both arms out and then up over the head. As you cross your wrists in front of you, turn the palms to face you, hook your thumbs up and draw that mudra down in front of your heart space. While there will be a gentle pull on the thumbs remaining, your fingers are also spread out wide. Let's do that again. The breath in, reaching the arms out and up. Now maybe changing the hand facing you. As you breathe out, draw that back down in front of heart space. We'll do that twice more, changing our grip. Inhaling and exhale. This time holding the mudra in front, that gentle pull of the thumbs, the spread of the fingers, and at the same time, letting your tailbone sink towards the ground. You might like to keep your eyes closed here and focus on the energy that you feel with the different hand position. The eagle mudra, very well assisting that idea of the different winds and energies in the body and complementing that approach. So when holding the mudra, you might notice one or the other shift, just a sense of being more within one place in the body than another, or feeling more expansive wherever you could feel that in your breath. If you find the mudra to hold very easy, please hold it. If you find it is rather tiring, you can rest your hands into your lap. I then suggest Dhyan Mudra, touching the index and the thumbs together instead. As you settle into that position and get used to the different ways of how you feel, we will add a few rounds of Samavriti, the box breath. You may imagine a box in front of your closed eyes, where you would breathe up one side, hold the breath to come across, breathe out and down the other side, and hold the breath to come back across to complete the box in front of you. If you are happy just to follow the pattern of the breath, that's okay too. These are just extra tools for you. I will count this breath. If the hold or any part of the breath doesn't suit, please modify it. Breathing in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start again with your in-breath and continue the practice on your own, in your own pace of counting or breathing. If the hold of your breath is uneven to the length of the breathing itself, you might want to balance the holds with each other. Please practice and finish your round of now. When you have completed, return to natural breathing and observe yourself again. With the next in-breath, then you may open your eyes, reach your arms back out and up, and then let your right hand gently fall as you extend over to the left. A breath in to reach both arms back up, and letting the left arm fall, and the breath out to the other side. Let's inhale, lifting arms again. On the exhale, a very gentle twist to the right. An inhale to center. And an exhale for a gentle twist to the left. Let's reach both arms back out and up on the inhale and come back to Garuda Mudra on the out breath, letting that sit again in front of the heart space. And let your hands release to the floor, changing leg position and really all. As you might remove your block, probably a good idea to place that towards the front side of the mat. If you're still wearing socks or excessively thick jumpers, things like that, you might want to take that off now. We will get a little bit warmer here. As we come to stand on our hands and knees, let's spread the fingers out here. The knees are separate. We've got some strength here happening already in the arms, but when you look at your arms, the elbow creases are comfortably looking at each other. On the in-breath, soften the elbows in towards your lifting tail and gaze. And then straighten your arms on the out-breath and rounding into the cat. The in-breath, some softness to the elbows, tail gaze. On the out breath, straighten your arms and round the back. For your own breath, the movement is now yours. As you breathe and round and dip into the spine. As we come to a more neutral spinal position, on the next inhalation, letting the right leg extend back, reach forward, and then back into your toes. And with the out breath, repeating the roundedness, tucking knee into nose. And on the inhale, we're lengthening out rather than back bending. On the out breath, drawing the knee into the chest. Once again, take a breath in to lengthen the leg back, and out breath to bring the knee forward, and now stepping or helping the foot in between the hands. Placing your knee above your ankle joint. On a breath in, reach your arms out and up, lifting through the upper body. And on the out breath, hooking up the thumbs as you draw your hands back in front of the heart space. Eagle Mudra. As you ground here through the front foot, shin, back foot, and knee. On your next exhalation, just turning your upper body towards your right. On a breath in, let your arms extend out to shoulder height, maintaining your twist. And either lifting the right arm or placing it into the waistline as you lower your left hand here for a twist. Let the right hand land and the right knee step back. On your out breath, around the spine, and sit the buttocks back towards the heels. An actively extended child's pose, where the buttocks is reaching for the heels and the fingers for the top side of the mat. Then coming back up onto all fours, realigning knees under hips, hands shoulder distance. With the next inhale, the left leg is extending back. On the out breath, draw the knee into the chest. On the inhale, create length. Out breath, knee comes into the chest. And one more round, breathing in for length. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest and either step or help your foot forward. Once more, please align the knee over the ankle joint. On the inhale, lifting both arms out and up. Maybe changing the hand that's close to you as you return into Eagle Mudra, the gentle pull on the thumbs. Standing tall here, aiming to ground through foot, shin. As you inhale here. And then with the exhale, turning to the left. An option there to next inhale, reach both arms out to shoulder height, maintaining a twist. Left hand could rest in the waist or arm could be extended. On the out breath, lowering your right hand fingertips to the ground for a twisted lunge. Let's release the hand to the mat, stepping the knee back. And once more, round your spine, buttocks to the heels as you sink back. When you're resting here, bend your elbows, please. Turn the palms of the hands up, cross out your wrists, and return to Garuda Mudra, this time in front of you. Arms can be bent or extended, whatever you choose. Keep the fingers spread, the hooked up thumbs, and lower the head. If you would like to have your head resting, either do that on the floor or use a block underneath the forehead. And let yourself surrender to that shape for a few breaths. This mudra is not only there to help us balance our energies, It is also there to help us with inspiration and potentially even revitalizing ourselves. So well and truly suited to the idea of the Vayus. Let's take the mudra in and round up through the spine. Lifting up and away from the heels. Take a breath in and reach your arms out and up. And on the out breath, bringing the hands back down onto the mat. Maybe now time to tuck toes under. If you prefer to stay on all fours, feel free to do so. Or lift your knees up now for a downward facing dog. And you might want to walk out through the legs. Continuing then that walk to the front side of the mat, where you end up in a standing forward bend. Taking time to uncurl the spine here on your out breath, rolling up to stand. Lift the shoulders and shrug them back down, turning palms to face forward. As we've only just lifted into a standing position, take note of the positioning of your feet. Let them be parallel, whether that is touching or apart. Take a softness to your knees and ease around your lower back and pelvis. On your next inhalation, let's reach the arms back out and up, finding another eagle mudra that you draw down in front of your heart space. On the inhale, reaching the arms back out and up. On the exhale now, bringing the hands onto the hips. So have them quite low and step the right foot back. Our usual stance here is hip distance apart, the back foot about a meter back, and then bringing a light bend into the front knee. So the front knee remains over your ankle joint. You can basically just choose the distance that then determines how deep you're going into this shape. I prefer it quite solidly standing. And if your feet are neatly apart, the hips are easy, and you might pull your feet in lightly towards each other for more stability. So we stand up nice and tall, reach your arms out and up again. And with the exhale, finding once again this eagle mudra as you pull a little bit on your thumbs and spread out through your fingers. Holding shoulders here at ease and hands active also contributes to the season of autumn and the relevant energy lines, for example, working with the lungs. With your next out breath, you might turn to your left, a little twist again towards the knee. Keep that gentle pull on your thumbs and a sense of groundedness through the outer edge of the back foot. Let's turn the body back to center and take a deep breath as you reach both arms out and up. This time you might hold your arms lifted. The palms might be facing each other, or you could even touch your hands together, maybe across at the thumbs to hold the palms touching. As you do so, let your shoulders soften. So your choice there is, of course, to lower the arms if you find it's too strong to keep them lifted. So your choice for a warrior one. If you feel really grounded into the earth, you could also choose to lift your gaze. Does not necessarily mean the head is coming back, although it could. But it could be just the eye gaze and maintaining some sense of length through the neck. As we breathe in, let's push the back heel away from the ground. And as you breathe out, release the arms and step your feet again parallel. Palms are facing forward once more. Although we were using both feet, you will still feel an imbalance in the body. We could bring that all back to the energies, but we are aware that there's much more working within us. So on your next inhale, reach the arms back out and up. Change again the cross of the thumbs as you draw your Eagle Mudra down in front of your heart space. A breath in to open and circle the arms again. With the exhale, release the hands onto the hips. We'll repeat. The left foot steps back. Maintain a hip distance stance and ground the foot down behind. Then bring a gentle bend into the front knee. The same here, knee is over the ankle. The hips are facing forward with ease, and your choice how far the other foot is stepping back for this shape. Get that sense of pulling the feet in towards each other. You might even feel a sense of firming through your base. With the next inhale, reach your arms back out and up. Once again, we're crossing the thumbs and hooking them up as we draw the hands down in Eagle Mudra in front of the chest. Maintain your strength in your stance, the pull on the thumbs and the spread of the fingers. With an exhale, the option of turning towards the knee, moving quite slowly, deliberately, checking in with energy blockages or tightness somewhere in the body, sensations that you become aware of. Steadiness is, however, in your gaze, which allows you to bring the awareness within. With your next breath, come back into the center, reach your arms out and up, and maybe leave your arms resting, both arms extended over the head. The same option here, palms may face or touch. If you did cross the thumbs, do the same that you always do, changing that as you keep your arms lifted, the feet drawing in, and then comes the option of your gaze, straight forward and steady, or elevated, looking upwards, maybe towards the hands. Although we lifted the arms, there's still a deep sense of support from the ground. On the inhale, push your back heel away from the mat. On the exhale, step forward and mountain pose as you turn the palms of your hands to face forward again. What would we do without eagle pose when it comes to Eagle Mudra? Let's practice the eagle in 2 variations. We will start by bringing the weight towards the left foot. On the inhale, lifting the right knee, arms are rising. We'll start with Eagle Mudra, so thumbs are hooking up, and your right ankle might come to the left thigh. If you prefer to stand on both feet, that is also an option. Draw the mudra in front of the heart and lean your spine a little forward. Find that slight engage around your lower abdominals in the direction of the tail. Maybe sinking that little bit deeper, enhancing the stretch and keeping a flexion in the foot that you lifted. Let's breathe in, lift the knee and the arms again. On the exhale, returning into mountain pose. And if you are having little dances in between, please enjoy them. Let's change sides. On the inhale, lifting the arms and the left knee. Again, change the hook of the thumbs. Place your ankle to the thigh. Hands are drawing in front of the heart. Spine is leaning forward. Active flexion in the foot, and still the option of simply standing on both feet. As you lean a little bit forward, find that inner activation, maybe a sense of pulling on this tight pair of jeans and trying to close the zipper, as you might sit that little bit lower once you've done so. Let's take a breath in, lifting the knee and the arms and releasing back to a mountain posture. While we will practice eagle posture, I would love to include that in a little sequence. So you will trust that I do what I say as I step to the front side of my mat. We're still in a mountain posture. With the inhale, let's lift wings and the right knee. Let's cross the right leg over and the right arm under. You might hug your shoulders or touch the palms. The other foot that you just crossed over may touch at the big toe to the floor, or you could hug your legs together. Eagle is oftentimes like you're leaning forward too, so think about the lower abdominals assisting this shape. Arms can squeeze a bit too. I would ask you to maintain the arms for now, but breathe in and lift your right knee. We're tilting that into a warrior 3. Please feel free to step the foot down earlier if you need to, extending the body forward and the leg back with a flexion in your foot. Now point the toes and land the whole foot down. Unwind your arms, straighten your legs and reach the arms up. On the exhale, crossing at the thumbs as you pull your Eagle Mudra back to your heart space. Taking a look down at the stance, leaving your left foot facing the short side of the mat. The right heel ever so slightly pointing to the other side of the mat. Then take a breath and bend into your left knee, placing that back over the ankle joint. Now for me, this stance is a little bit narrow. I've just wiggled the back foot a bit out, deepening my stance. These are options, choosing yours. As you turn your gaze to the left side, take an inhalation and let your arms extend out to shoulder height. Your gaze is remaining forward and the shoulders becoming easy. So if I was to stand behind you, I would most likely ask you to soften your elbows so your shoulders can relax, but keep the determination in your gaze and the strength in the arms. The little bit of a pulling in of the feet here as well to engage through the foundation. Breath is flowing. And then turning the palms of your hands to face upwards. Keeping your foundation still and steady, exalted warrior as you take an in-breath. So your left arm might start to reach backwards. Foundation is the same. If you were to tune in with your front knee, it's still aligned with the toes. So there's a distinct arch in the left foot expressed. The hand behind ever so softly resting. Let's soften the back knee and take the upper arm towards that knee. Then swing the forearm down onto your thigh. You might like to start with your right hand in the waist, maybe a chin tuck towards the shoulder to look up for side angle posture. Options would be here to stay, of course, or to extend one or both of your arms while maintaining the shape. So side angle posture, same stance as the warrior 2, only we're leaning towards the ground in some sense. Let's roll the top shoulder in, bring the hands to the mat and turn the front toes towards the long side of the mat as well as those of the back foot. Now coming up onto the fingertips for a breath in, and for the breath out, starting to fold between the legs. As you might be able to let go of your head with that tension in the neck, You can choose to place your hands or keep them rather underneath your shoulders. And if you were to do so, lifting the shoulders up into their sockets, bringing space around your neck. Weight sits forward here in the feet, so the tailbone is our highest point. And although your legs might be appearing to be completely straight, there is a micro bend in your knees. Other option for your arms, if you're comfortable with that, reach them through behind your legs. Maybe a way of deepening as well. Allow yourself to remain with this shape for a few more breaths. The weight sitting forward in the feet, extending more deeply through the back line. Bringing fingertips back to ground, a half lift on your in-breath. As you bend your knees, turning your left toes back to the front side, short edge of the mat, walk the hands to either side, lift your back heel, and let's step the foot back into downward facing dog. On a breath in, we're rolling the spine forward, finding a plank or a kneeling plank. On the out breath, lower down onto the front of the body. You may ground the tops of the feet into the mat for a cobra of your choice. Take a breath in, lifting head and chest. Maybe hands are supporting, maybe they're even floating, or hands are wide, whatever your preference is. But keep lifting your sternum forward as you take one more breath. Then inhaling again. And for the exhale, releasing to the mat. Inhale, come onto all fours. You might tuck the toes under, happy posture, or lift the knees off the ground, downward facing dog. Beginning to walk the feet now towards the front side of your mat, where we meet back in a standing forward bend or Uttanasana. And out breath now to uncurl the spine into standing. Reaching the arms out and up on the in-breath. And crossing as you hook your thumbs up back to Eagle Mudra at heart space. Notice how the energies are feeling when you come directly from the floor and from movement rather than stability, which might be different. We will change now as we begin with the left leg. Lifting the wings on the inhale, the left knee is rising. We'll cross the knee over and the left arm goes underneath the right. You can hug yourself or touch the palms. Big toe can be on the floor, or you may hug the legs and arms quite tightly together. But leave your shoulders easy and the elbows a little bit away from the chest. Holding Garuda. Holding the arms in the same way, but inhaling to lift the left knee. And then a breath out to tilt that into Warrior 3. As you might extend your leg back, have a strong flexion of the foot there. You can land earlier if you wish. Or pointing the toes now and then landing your whole foot down. Let your arms unwind, straighten your legs, reach the arms up over the head, breathing in and finding your Eagle Mudra in front of your heart space as you breathe out. Starting to turn the toes, if they aren't, the right toes to the front end of the mat. A light bend into the right knee. And the back heel is lightly to the other side of the mat. check in with your stance. If you find it's a little bit short or wide, adjusting your stance. Maintain the knee in alignment with the toes, so the arch is active in the front foot. Your choice from here, a breath in to turn the gaze to the right, extending the arms out at shoulder height. As you hold here, think again of the little adjustments you might notice for yourself, such as shoulders being tight and a softness to the elbows, but maintaining the strength in the arms, the strength in your gazing point. The feet still lightly pulling in. It's a sense of strength and stability. Turn the palms of the hands on both arms to face upwards. And exalt the warrior. Keep your foundation strong, reaching your right arm over the head and resting the left arm gently behind. If you are looking up, please have a gentle chin tuck towards your shoulder, so to engage your neck. The wider stance and the pulling in of the feet. To release that, bend your back knee, circle your upper hand in towards the knee, and then rest your forearm onto the thigh. You might slide your left hand to the side of the waist as you turn the shoulder back, maybe even lifting the gaze. Up to you. Again, a light chin tuck if you do. In the side angle pose, a Parshvakonasana. The other option is to extend the arms, or just one if you wish. Whichever one that might be for you. So checking in with your energies, maintaining the length in that angle. And then rolling that back in as you release the hands back in between the feet. This time, please turn your toes to face to the corners of the mat and the heels a bit in. Breathe out and uncurl the spine to rise into standing. We'll reach the arms out to the sides on the inhale, returning into Garuda Mudra as you bend the knees and settle into a goddess shape. We'll do that a few more times. So let's inhale, reach the arms back out now. Other hand in front. As you pull on your thumbs, sit low. Now I'd really love you to pause there. Think of your body being upright here and strong. Knees wide and open. Let's do 2 more on the inhale, lifting up. On the exhale, Hatha Konasana. Inhaling, lifting. And exhaling as we hold here again. Gentle pull on the thumbs, the spreading of the fingers. Maybe sitting a little bit lower. Keep yourself upright and tall though. A breath in as you reach your arms outwards, turning the toes to the front end of the mat, releasing your hands. Stepping the foot back for a downward facing dog. On a breath in now, roll the spine forward, finding plank or kneeling plank. And an out breath to release onto the front of the body. You could repeat a cobra here, or you could bring your arms behind your back and hook the thumbs up there, spreading the fingers as you lengthen the arms down your back. From that position, you could lift like in a locust pose, raising the head, the chest, the legs, and maybe the arms just a bit away from your back. Everything lengthens towards the back of your space, into toes, and the arms are drawing in that direction. Take another lift on the next inhale. And then relax onto the floor as you breathe out. Sliding the hands back underneath your shoulders. Breathe in to come onto all fours and around your back again into an extended child's pose. Resting the forearms down and turning the palms up. And however you would like to cross your wrists now, change the cross, hook the thumbs up, spread the fingers, and once more, let your head come to rest either between your arms or onto a block. The mudra quite active, the rest of the body quite still. However, if you notice any niggles here, signs of energies being blocked, you can add slight movements if they feel right for whatever you are experiencing, knowing that we might not be able to fix ourselves this instantly, but that the awareness about it might be useful to do so eventually. As your fingers are opening on the next inhale, let them release, turn the palms down and breathe out to uncurl the spine, extending your legs out long in front. Now, my preparation is lacking a blanket today. I still have the block near the mat. I've just chosen to place that block more at the middle of the mat by the side, and also taken my feet forward to the short edge of the mat. I will now roll up the end of my mat. You might like to do the same, although you potentially have a blanket. I'll give you a use for that in a second. So sitting up a little bit higher. If you're somebody that with legs straight have trouble, like myself, folding forward with ease, you might fold up or roll up your blanket and place that underneath the knees. I've got a little towel roll here that I will use instead to demonstrate. Flexing the feet from there, fingertips are down, and we'll bring some length back into the spine, maybe even dropping towards the tailbone. Draw the shoulders back as you breathe in. Knees can be bent even more than your support. As you breathe out, let the belly attach towards the thighs if it reaches there. Let your arms come forward in a relaxed manner. Keep a deep flexion in your feet and maybe then lower the upper body too. This support here is not essential. If you've got your stretch under check, you might bend the knees as much or as little as you like, but sometimes that extra support is useful. Let's surrender into that shape for a few breaths. Doing nothing but breathing out, allowing to be there. If it feels right for you, you might add a mini wave, almost invisible from the outside, to lengthen your spine on an in-breath, but then surrender back into the shape on the out-breath. The feet are staying active, even if you choose to add that subtle movement to your hold. So a sense of lengthening on the in-breath, and deeper surrender to Paschimottanasana on the out-breath. As we release from the shape, bring the hands back down, walk them back, supporting yourself to rise to a seated shape. You may keep your sitting support, but sliding your right foot in. So maybe even hugging the foot up towards the bottom. Ideally, there's a gap here between the foot and the extended leg. Let's take a hold of the knee and assisting us to lengthen through the spine. Keep that hold with the opposite hand And slide your right hand fingertips as a gentle support behind you. Then breathe out, and ideally we're turning towards the leg. Extra option then to use your elbow to hug the knee into the side. If you practice other variations, please feel free to take the elbow elsewhere. I really see a good benefit here in the hug of the knee towards the chest and the abdomen. As we twist, the foot on the extended leg is still in the flexion. While you might like to maintain the twist, place the hand directly behind your back, more firmly onto the mat, away from your back. Let your knee fall out towards the side from this twist. And you might take a deep breath to reach your left arm over the hips. The hips could lift as well, if that was within you, pointing out through the left side toes. Then an out breath as you swing your hand back down and return into a seated shape, extending the leg out long. Let's draw the left foot in and even hug it in towards the bottom. Another check here that there's a gap between your foot and the extended leg. The foot is flexed on that extended leg. We're taking both hands to hold onto the knee and lift through the spine. Only the opposite hand stays as you bring your fingertips directly behind your back, and then exhaling to turn towards the knee. Same option here. You might use your elbow to hug the knee in instead. Holding here tightly, trusting the massaging effect, trusting the turn in the spine to assist the spinal health. Let the hand directly behind you slide back and ground it to the floor. Let your knee roll out to the side. An option just to reach your right arm over the head, or on top of that to lift the hips up, pointing out through the right toes. Let's land again on the breath out. Extending both legs, rolling the mat and just a fraction further forward. Have a block ready by your side if you would like to use one, and then let your legs extend again. Take a deep breath in just to sit upright like in Dandasana or rod pose, and then roll your spine down onto the mat. But please, before you do, have all your relaxation things around you. The block today will be optional as well. We'll start with the feet stepping up quite close towards the buttocks. This time it's both of them. Step them close, but try not to help them with your hands. Align the outer edges of the feet and let your arms come to rest quite close by the sides, palms touching the ground. Neck is aligned, and we could check that internally that the nose is aligning with the navel. Now on your next inhalation, flatten the spine down by tilting your pelvis. Then squeeze your bottom on the out breath and lift your hips up. This is the point where you can choose either to hold here with your own body strength, or to take a block flat or in a higher position and bring that directly underneath the sacrum. If you are using a block, please make sure it's the very lower end of the spine that you're resting on. So all the moving vertebrae above that are hanging off the block in that sense. Leaving yourself here as it is. And then the option of breathing in to raise the arms to the ceiling before you take your arms behind the back. Now, if your room is longer than mine, please extend your arms all the way as you reach the fingers backwards. This is kind of the last bit that is missing in our energy work, that stronger extension of the body paired with the back bend to assist us bringing in flow throughout the body, be that blood flow, lymph flow. Let's lift the arms back up on the inhale, pointing to the ceiling. And on the exhale, let's lower the arms down, back and by the sides. If you are holding the bridge unsupported, you might bring your hands now to your hips and lift the legs up in a diagonal over the body for a half shoulder stand. Those of you on the block, you might take your hands to the block, then lift your feet off the floor. And if that feels stable enough, you might also extend the legs. But these legs would go straight towards the ceiling rather than diagonally over the body. If you are holding here and it's not a form of a shoulder stand unsupported, you may let go of the block. So the hands could rest and open. I'd encourage all of you then to press out through the balls of the feet to engage the legs all around for our shoulder stand variations. Keeping the active legs and observing the energy flow, the bodily fluid flow within. If you are practicing on a block right now, you might bring your hands back there. Let's all relax the feet and squeeze the toes a few times. If you're in a shoulder stand unsupported, start rolling down. If you're with me, bend your knees to the chest, landing one foot after the other back to a hip distance stance. Then squeezing the bottom to come away from the block, take that out from underneath and also roll your spine down slowly. Let your arms open out towards the sides. Lift your right leg and cross it over the left. Then let the knees roll to the left. You can have arms extended or cactus arms. And maybe turning your gaze to the other side. My suggestion is to uncross the legs, then bring head and knees to center, then lift the left leg, crossing it over the right, letting the knees roll to the right now, and the gaze maybe to the left. Let's uncross the legs again, bringing head and knees to center, supporting yourself from here if you're ready for it, or take a brief hug of knees to chest, maybe even nose to knees, and then settling into your form of Shavasana, which might mean your feet are mat distance, knees are rolling in if you prefer the constructive rest, much more supportive, or you could extend the legs out, let them roll apart and come into full Shavasana or corpse pose. If you like, you can then close your eyes And come back to the insides of the body, where you might feel a fair few sensations still going on. To really help with the flow of the energies through the body, we might bring in another element. There is a silent mantra that you could repeat in your mind, and the mantra is Om Agnaye Namaha, which invites the fire element to the practice. And from scriptures, it says that this enhances the balancing of the vayus and the energies. So if you choose to do so, it's Om Agnaye Namaha. You could repeat that to yourself, Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Repeating that silently or resting and following the breath. The combination practice today, the mudra, the vayus, the fire, could increase the ability of adapting to change. Om Agnaye Namaha. Maybe letting go now of your silent repetition of the mantra. Letting your body be easy, still, and comfortably breathing. Increasing the depths of your breath as you bring in more energy, more prana, more life force. Allow yourself to move and stretch to your liking, but only to join me in the end in a seated position. When you come to sit, you may support underneath the sitting bones, maybe with a cushion or a block, and then place your fingertips back down on either side of you. Last round of Eagle Mudra, a breath in to reach the arms out and up, and then cross the thumbs and draw the mudra in front of the heart space. The same here, a little pull on the thumbs and active spreading of the fingers, but shoulders are easy and you're sitting quite solidly on your support. We'll complete the practice by chanting the mantra for 3 rounds, followed by a longer sound of Om, a universal sound. So the mantra is Om Agnaye Namaha. Let's breathe in to begin with the first round. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. You might like to maintain the energy of the mudra while we gently bow and extend to each other. Namaste.